Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Here again with defense attorney extraordinaire, Tim Forshee. And this guy is the guy that I go to when I don't understand how the law works in a particular situation for criminal, certainly use of force stuff here in Arizona, but also a friend of mine that has done some family law for me and for my loved ones, the guy who wrote my NFA trust. So you've recently seen me shooting suppressors on the channel. The reason that I own suppressors, he helped me with my NFA trust. Yeah, you know, and that's important. I think we have a whole nother thing to talk about that. But, and so does Arizona CCWs, you guys should be getting your Arizona CCW through Tim. And we recently had a video out of Brazil. Why? Because it's the Wild West there. And they're kind of tired of criminal behavior in Brazil. So are we in the US. And 3 robbers, 1 gun. Right, so 3 dudes in the house, or not a house, in a business, right, in a place of business. One of them pulls a gun. The owner of the shop takes umbrage, doesn't wait his turn, and instead draws from the drop. Thank God the bad guy missed, and then our good guy burns 2 of the 3 robbers down. So we have 1 guy who's armed, 2 end up dead robbers. And I want to talk to the attorney about at what level is that okay?
Firearms Legal Protection is who I trust to help me after a use of force incident. If you're a Firearms Legal Protection member, I will also be on your team as a consulting expert, and you can attend our monthly active self-protection training seminars for free. Check out all they offer to their members at the link below.
Now, I do think people are going to look at this stuff and they go, well, good riddance to bad rubbish, right? You're robbers, and you know the phrase we use on the channel all the time is he put the quarter in the jukebox so he gets to dance to the tune, right? Or he paid the band, right? Correct. You know, but at some level, we get to use deadly force to stop a deadly threat. Clearly, the guy with the gun is a deadly threat. But we also have this doctrine of the mob, right? That every person in the mob acts as a member of the mob and is equally guilty for the behavior of the mob. So at what point does that break down in terms of the use of deadly force against a group like this?
Well, I mean, the ideal model is Atticus Finch, so you don't have to use any lethal force, right? You convince the mob that they're wrong. That wasn't going to happen here. I mean, the robbery commenced. This guy decided he was willing to kill to get money, right? So.
And if you don't know who Atticus Finch is, you need to go back.
Shame on you.
To your English classes and read some classic literature.
Don't just read the Cliff Notes. Come on. But yeah, so the game was on by the time our guy knew that there was a game, right? So it wasn't like he had a chance to sort of dispel the mob or display a gun to make the mob go away. That wasn't an option. The mob was in his shop trying to kill him before he had access to do anything different. So, you know, again, one of my favorite Oliver Wendell Holmes quotes, and I'm paraphrasing this, is basically that perfect reflection is not required in the face of an upraised knife, right?
Right.
So did this guy make a judgment error when he shot unarmed people? By the way, have we confirmed, we only saw 1 gun in the video, have we confirmed the after-action report that they in fact were not armed?
The news story said that they recovered a single firearm.
Okay, so then well, of course, the 3rd guy perhaps, because the 3rd guy got away, correct?
He did.
So we don't know. Maybe there was 2 guns and we only saw 1. I mean, that's a fair statement to make. We don't know for sure, right? But the point is, were they acting in concert? I think that's the term you'll see in the law. Were they acting in concert? I think clearly they were. They were casing the joint. They were distracting the clerk. They were acting like they were shoppers. They were acting in concert towards a common goal, and that goal was to use lethal force or the threat thereof to steal money, right? At that point, am I reasonably in fear for my life from anybody who's acting in that concert? I think the answer is yes. So again, I don't have to like shoot the first guy and then do a quick little mini interview with the second guy and check his hands and maybe get a metal detector involved to then decide that I'm in fear. I don't have that kind of time, right? We're talking about tenths of seconds here. You've got to do what you've got to do. So I don't fault him. That said, when you look at this dispassionately, you know, as a non-bloodthirsty person later on, you go, wow, you know what? Those 2 kids might have been 17-year-olds that were there with their drunk uncle who coerced them into doing this, and they didn't deserve to die. Perhaps they didn't. I don't know that anybody deserves to die, but the point is, like John always says, they put their quarter in the jukebox, and now they got to dance the tune, and that sucks for them, but you know, better than the innocent lives were lost that day, I guess I'd have to say.
And I mean, okay, so you might say, well, they were coerced. Maybe they were.
I don't know they were.
My bigger guess is it's a bunch of dirt bags that are doing dirtbag things together,
most likely, you're correct, yeah.
But let's just say they were coerced by their uncle, whatever. Well, listen, we all got to live with the consequences of the people who we hang around with.
That's right.
Okay, and I always say this to my children, and I say it to adults too, right? You know, if you got dirtbag buddies, they're going to get you involved in dirtbag stuff.
Brings to mind the old John Farnham quote that we both love: "Don't do stupid stuff with stupid people in stupid places."
Yeah, it's stupid times.
That'll save you almost all of the angst in your life.
The rules of stupid are rules to live by.
Exactly.
And you know, I might have read that somewhere, that bad company corrupts good morals. Maybe that's come up in classic literature.
If it hasn't, you need to write it down somewhere. That's a good one.
I think it's been written down. Maybe you can point out for me in the comments where you find that written down. Anyways, so I think here in this case we see, obviously, you know, all in one action, right? So that's important to me.
Yep, it is.
That he didn't like burn the guy with the gun down.
And then chase him outside, chase him down the street.
Right.
Whole nother evaluation. Yeah.
Dude gets in his car and he goes, "I got you now, you son of a bitch," and bow, you know, burns him to the ground.
Make my day.
Make my day,
Yeah.
Yeah, did I shoot 5 shots or 6? Do you feel lucky?
We make fun of it, but yet we have it memorized.
Yeah, well, I mean, and okay, let's be real clear. Harry Callahan, like, that's not okay.
What was his nickname?
Yeah, Dirty Harry,
Wonder
right?
why,
Like,
yeah.
and we go, yeah, and you go, no, bad, dirty. This is bad, right? We don't like this. I love me some Clint Eastwood,
Hey,
but you know,
who can't?
And so, you know, all in one action though. Burn this guy down. Right. You know, shoot this guy because he's pointing a gun at me. Thank God that guy missed the first one. Immediately turn the gun to the second guy and go to work on him because they're all working in concert. Yep. And if this guy gets after me, he's gonna kill me too. He's gonna, you know, whatever. And these guys have a gun.
Right.
At some point, you got to stop that.
Right.
At some point, you got to. We recently had one.
And even when I shoot an IDPA match, you know, we do things what are called tactical sequence, and that's where the theory is everybody gets one before anybody gets two. Because time is of the essence. These people are close. They've expressed murderous intent. I can't focus on one person or the other person's going to kill me while I'm doing that.
Right.
So, I mean, even in the competitive world, we realize this. It's indoctrinated into the rules of sports even. So,
and in the defensive world, we call that the boarding house rules, right? The boarding house rule says everyone gets firsts before anyone gets seconds.
That's
right. Yeah, and you know, that tactical priority or whatever in the IDPA world. So listen, a clean shoot, right? Here, I think that the shop owner, may God bless him. I do worry that fortuitous outcomes he drew from the drop. And thank God the guy didn't shoot him, does sometimes reinforce bad behavior, right? He shouldn't have drawn when that guy was looking at him. Should have waited for his opportunity and would have had much less risk.
Well, I mean, yeah, literally this guy came, you know, 4 inches away from getting killed.
This far from being
dead. I mean, so you got to thank your lucky stars and thank the Lord on that one for sure.
And if you've never had an angry bee whiz by you, and I mean, even if you're on the range and you have one zip over your head.
I've never been shot at for real, thank goodness, and pray I never will be, but I've sure popped targets on a 600 range a lot of times. And just hearing 308 snap over your head, even though you know they're 15 feet over your head, it gives you a taste for it, and it's not fun.
I had pistol fire come within about 6 feet of me in the desert.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, riding dirt bikes out in the desert and hanging out and sitting there, and then dudes are shooting like morons, and had one right by me, and that'll wake you up.
Yep.
Let me tell you,
Angry hornet.
It is an interesting time. We started hooting and hollering, and those guys stopped shooting, and we went over and said hi to them and introduced ourselves and had a little powwow.
So have they ever found their bodies or no?
Yeah. No. I very firmly and yet kindly and with compassion encourage those guys to shoot where they had a better backstop.
I would have liked to be present for that, to see you in action.
We might have discussed how that could have been a better choice, that their mother would have been much more proud of them if they had done that, but as it were, that maybe their species and their lineage was at risk.
The height of diplomacy that
Yes,
day.
it was diplomacy,
right?
Yeah, it was diplomacy. Anyways, guys, I can't tell you enough, man. Be cautious here. We use deadly force when we must, right? The first guy, absolutely must. Second guy, no problem at all. Third guy runs off. Good job by the shop owner of letting him go, right? Yeah. Let him run off. Fine, you win. He's gone.
That's right.
But they do all act in concert, right? They're all together, and so I think somewhat this is why, you know, even the getaway driver is going to get charged with the full crime
accessory
that they're
murder,
do, right?
Yeah, believe it or not, even though the good guys didn't get killed, a lot of people might not know that. The fact that there were deaths in this case make it a murder investigation, and felony murder, I don't know if they have anything similar in Brazil, but in Arizona, that's first-degree murder.
Yeah.
For the getaway driver. He
For the
didn't go in the
getaway
room.
driver.
He didn't go in the shop, first-degree murder.
Yeah.
So.
And
Won't
that's
be a capital crime, but it'll be first-degree murder.
That's a great encouragement to people to get a job instead of becoming robbers.
And don't require on luck to avoid a situation that could have killed you. Please. They call it snake eyes for a reason. We're not worried about the snake's eyes. There's fangs right underneath those things, right?
Yeah.
So please.
Yep. So, yes, they all acted in concert. Yes, the grab man is as responsible as the gun man. I will say he did do the right thing and address the gunman first, because the first deadly threat is the gunman, then address the grab man. And be smart and be a good, sane, sober, moral, prudent person, would you? Tim,
Always.
thanks for the knowledge, man.
Always, buddy. Thank you. Thank you.